Hello folks, welcome back to another video with me, your one and only me, Caitlin J. Reeds. So, we're coming back, reacquainting ourselves, shall I say. So I've decided maybe it would be a good idea to catch you up on what I've been feeling this first half of the year. I've been MIA January through June. So that's like the first half of 2022. Poof, gone, not here. Sayonara, folks. Sayonara. But like I said, I want to catch you up on what I've been feeling lately as in regards to my reading, because we did a brief overview last week of all the books I read in 2022, but there have been a few showstoppers, shall I say, throughout the year. And I wanted to showcase that. I wanted to show you all the brilliance that can be found in a book. I'm sure all of you who are here at this channel know that, but if you're new to reading, books are so fantastic. I just can't talk enough about them. That's why I have a YouTube channel regarding them. Anyways, I feel like we should just get on with this. I am going to cover 4 different authors / books / book series that have really done it in for me this year. And I can already tell you, I forgot one in my pile, and I want to add it before I forget and before I get lazy, okay? So I'm brief intermission. I'm going to add that. But yes, we're going to cover 4 or 5. I don't know. I can't count, can't do math, didn't number them. Let's get right into it. And firstly, I just want to talk about an author that I'm a little bit of a binge with recently. I love latching onto an author and just sucking all the sweet, sickling juices out of them. And that's going to be Joe Abercrombie and his Blade itself, the first law trilogy. I read the first one, so I have the Blade itself. I have Before They Are Hanged. Sorry, it's a bit dusty. Okay, I have both of those, but unfortunately, I actually went to Barnes & Noble today to see if I can pick up The Last Argument of Kings, and they were sold out. I even asked a worker and everything. How unfortunate. I wanted it for the video, but it's okay. We can live. Besides The Last Argument of Kings, I'm almost done with Best Served Cold, which is about Manza and Duke Orso and their feud. And I'm really, really, really loving it so far. It's amazing. So let's go into Joe Abercrombie. What I've been really liking about Joe Abercrombie in the beginning of 2022. He makes me feel every gambit of emotion, from happiness, laughter, hysterical joy, to oh my god, that's disgusting, horror, grief, sadness. He just has a way with writing, sir. And like that audiobook, when I listened to that while I'm driving in the car, and he's talking about like splitting heads open with axes and ripping people down the side of the body all the way to the spine, there's nothing quite like hearing that and envisioning that in your head. The audiobooks, magnifique. They're amazing. Highly recommended. Like I said, there's nothing like, sitting in traffic, audiobook blared up high, hearing about 9 fingers slamming into that motherfucker's head. There's nothing quite like it. I really enjoyed it, and it made me feel a lot of emotions, and tying onto that, the characters in this book, he made me feel things for horrible people. Okay, some of these people, these characters, see, I'm calling them people. Some of these characters are just really not good people. They're not good human beings, but he has a way of writing their perspective and their nuances that just makes you love them so much. So I'm gonna name some out specifically. Like I said, I read the First Law trilogy, the first one, and then I've read Best Served Cold. So, my perspective past that point, I don't know. But like I said, Logan Nine Fingers, love him. Sandang Glokta, his perspective, his questioning, his constant inquisitiveness, his mind for questions. Oh my god, that character is masterfully written, okay? Master. Now we're moving into with the Besser of Cold. I love Manza, the Butcher of Capril. Who knows what Manza turns into in these next couple books, but I'm really loving her character and how ruthless she is. I'm really excited to see how this book caps off. But yeah, his characters, he has a way of writing them. You really grow to love them. And I didn't think I would say that, because after reading the first one, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I had a pretty long gap between reading The Blade itself and Before They Are Hanged. But from the third book, I binged The Last Argument of Kings and Besser of Cold. Who knows where we'll go from here? It depends on, my library holds. Thank you very much. Also, I said he made me laugh, but I think it's an understatement that Joe Abercrombie is a hysterical writer. Very funny. He's very witty. He has all of the punchlines. His characters, some of them are written very wittily, like Logan Ninefingers, like Dogman. And I just really love and enjoy the wittiness of these characters. Giselle Dunluther, no matter, he may be arrogant, but it's his arrogance that makes it witty. He's so arrogant, he's so ignorant, he doesn't even know that what he's saying is funny. And masterful. Joe Abercrombie really was able to carve out a piece in my reading journey this year, and I'm so glad he did, because wow, can the man write. Next, we are moving on to Robert Jordan and the Wheel of Time series. And right in front of you now, I didn't want to take all of the books that I have out for the Wheel of Time, but I did take out A Path of Daggers, which is the most recent book I have read, and I took out A Winter's Heart, which is the library loan that I'm currently waiting for to come through. Library loan. Oh, and my dog's getting off my bed. Okay. Anyways, now we can throw the books down on the bed. Beautiful. Anyways, so like I said, this year has really been the year of fantasy for me, but more specifically long fantasy series. And if Robert Jordan did anything, he wrote a long-ass fantasy series with the help of Brandon Sanderson, but we'll get to him later in the video. It's not a Caitlin J. Reed's video without Brandon Sanderson. Come on. Like I said, I am a sucker for a long fantasy series, and The Wheel of Time is just that. 14 books, I believe. Long fantasy series. I am creeping up there, though. I'm at book number 10, and I really love long series because you can stay with these characters and really grow to love and hate these characters, all in the same. And I'm growing so attached to them, and I'm a little afraid to get to book 14 and to be done with the series. Scary, but it'll be a good ending. I'll be able to reread them, go back, look at the nuance, and be able to tell you even more reasons why I love The Wheel of Time because of all the foreshadowing. But guess what? I haven't reread any yet, so that's to be determined. But this year has been the year of Robert Jordan, the year of enjoying Robert Jordan. Again, I get so attached to the characters in these books because you spend, my dog is getting on my bed again. Like I said, because you spend so long with these characters, you really grow to adore them. And The Wheel of Time has some of my favorite characters, and just they emulate such great qualities that I admire and I want to emulate in my own life. Like Avienda, what a warrior, doesn't take no for an answer. The ideal way of life, really kind of, not that I partake in it in any way, but it's really interesting hearing this deep philosophically about something that's completely different from Western political thought, or Western philosophy at least. And I find all of that very interesting, which might be why people don't find some of the books interesting, but I find it really interesting. So that's like an A++ for me. To go along with that, Nynaeve, I think she's had a lot of character growth throughout the series. That moment of her almost drowning and breaking through her barrier of being able to, use Saidar and embrace it. That was a really beautiful moment in the book, along with, her, obviously, spoilers, her being able to heal Stilled Woman. I mean, iconic behavior, Nynaeve. nothing less than an icon. Brigitte, also an honorable mention. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with Brigitte in her perspective, but I just find the idea of her very interesting. And again, my dog is barking, and it's so fucking annoying. And Perrin. How could I forget Perrin? Perrin has been one of my faves from the beginning. The show butchered his character. It is what it is. We can only RIP to that. The show is practically dead anyway, so yeah, whatever. Also, I love to theorize with myself, you know, because all of the books are already out. I love to theorize with myself about what's coming, what's happening, you know, what's happening with Rand. How is he going to end up by the end of the series? We know he's going mad. Like, that is a fact. That is a given. Every other man that has used Sidene, I believe it is, or Sidar, I fucking forget. I'm sorry. I have memories for some, but not all details. Okay, I'm sorry. I've only read it once. Anyways, we know that makes men go crazy. So I feel like he's already broken past that point by now. I believe that he broke past that point when the Aes Sedai locked him up in that little like box thingy-majiggy and tries to take him back to the White Tower. But I digress. Anyways, yes, I love to fan theorize by myself because most people have already read The Wheel of Time. But if anyone hasn't, you know, maybe we can start together. I'm at, like I said, Winter's Heart. If you've read up to Winter's Heart, let me know and we could, like, talk. Or, no, up to Path of Daggers, not Winter's Heart. I haven't read Winter's Heart yet. Yeah, okay. All right. Moving on. I don't have physical copies of these books. Because I'm not sure how they'll fit in with my shelf. I think I'm going to get the UK version. But I actually really enjoy the US versions of these covers, and this is for the Skyward series. And I know last video you're like, Caitlin, you said you didn't enjoy that as much as his high fantasy, and you're right, I didn't. But what I find really interesting about Brandon Sanderson is he makes you think, or at least makes me think, about the vastness of the universe, and if Skyward did anything, it did that. I feel like I've really, since reading Skyward in the series, have dived deep philosophically into my own thoughts and feelings about the universe as a whole, and literally the universe, and, you know, past and future lives. And it's just like, I feel like this book's trilogy series has done a number on my brain when it comes to thinking about the vastness of the universe and how vast it could truly be, you know, because like all of this is written as science fiction, fantasy, you know, but who knows, like maybe in some like weird alternate dimension, like all of this shit is real, whatever. And let's get past that. But like the Skyward, I enjoy a lot for the plot, you know. That's why I like Skyward. Spensa, okay, not my favorite. She is what she is. She's a teenager. But the plot and, like I said, the ideas that are put forth in Skyward, to me, are super valuable. No. I get it, but absolutely not. But yeah, I really enjoy Brandon Sanderson and this series. I enjoy it for what it is, and that is complex ideas to me. You know, I haven't read a lot of science. Last but not least, look at my Doomslug. To cheer me up, we need to look at my Doomslug. Doomslug. He goes right back here, and he's my Skyward representation on my shelf for now. Moving on, as they say, Jade Legacy by Fonda. Look at this beautiful copy of Jade Legacy on my Jade. Fucking gorgeous, man. Aluma Crate did a number with this, but also look at the size of this hunk of chunk. It's a big old book, but boy was she worth reading. It took me like a month to read her because I didn't want her to end. You know, Fonda Lee, I did not want to see the Call family go. But what a masterful ending this was, okay? What a masterful ending Miss Fonda Lee created in this world, in Janloon. Masterful. Okay, I'm gonna put it down. So it's like a fucking brick, a weight in and of itself, okay? Also, while we're on the calls, an idea. extremely unsolicited. Probably not wanted at all. Definitely not going to be taken up on, but Fonda creating a story about them, like, where Nico now is the grandfather and about to pass, and we get, like, a new generation, new problems, and make it futuristic sci-fi. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Because we know, Fonda, we know you're talented, and that could bring you so many different, very unique storylines and perspectives and different ideas that can come into play if we're doing, 60 years in the future, 80 years in the future. Make Nico-san, cold man. I keep slurring my words today. An old man, and let's follow the Call family. I want to see where the blood is at, okay? Anyways, about the book itself. This book was nothing but heartbreak, okay? Well, it was a lot more than heartbreak, but, like, the first thing I could think of when thinking of this book is utter heartbreak. You are heartbroken practically throughout this entire book. I feel like something big happens, like, halfway through, where you're kind of left on a cliffhanger. You're not sure what happens. That breaks your heart. Then there's a death that shatters it, and then there's another death that, like, takes a giant shit on it and just stomps all over it. But the way that Fonda was able to weave politics, interesting politics, intriguing politics, with interesting and intriguing characters, and we're able to follow practically the entire lifespan of this generation of the Call family, is phenomenal, and a testimony to her writing skills, because she was able to make me attached to these characters this much, while also creating a world filled with rich political intrigue between the Calls, between the oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? Because she's not fucking important. The Mountain, the head of the Mountain clan, whatever her fucking name is. Just the political intrigue between the two, the way they expanded from John Loon throughout the trilogy into something so much bigger than locals trying to protect themselves, turn into this capitalistic venture. And it's truly just such a masterful book. And moving on to our last talking point. In this book, I want to cap it off. I believe that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're capping it off at 5, so now I can count. This is the 5th and final one, and I've saved the best for last. Okay, this is my absolute favorite. Last, but certainly not least, because it was my absolute favorite of the year so far. A Master of Jinn by Djeli Clark. And I googled how to say his name before doing this video today, because I realized I absolutely butchered it in my, January to June wrap-up video. Djeli, okay? Djeli. Djeli Clark, okay? Phenomenal book. Let me set the setting for you. As you can tell, I'm a sucker for characters, good characters. I'm a sucker for a good setting, for a unique, thought-provoking setting, all right? And let me explain this to you, okay? Imagine a world with known magic. Pre-World War II, we're following a magic inquisitor who's one of the most renowned inquisitors and is also a female, which is not very common in the magic inquisitors. And she's queer. She likes women. Beautiful, masterful. And, like I said, it's pre-World War II Egypt, but it's steampunk and futuristic. There's that little twist that Djeli puts to this book, and it's fucking phenomenal. The exploration that he does also into Egyptian mythology is extremely interesting. Again, a book that makes you do research, okay? I can appreciate that. And this is a book that makes you do research, okay? Because not only does it have you researching Egyptian gods and temples of these Egyptian gods and kind of like what their followers did, and it had me really interested in that, aspect of things, it had me also really interested in the book's main adversary, the main villain, known as Al-Jahiz. And I went and I looked up Al-Jahiz, and look at this. I know, white girl, what a surprise. White ginger, doesn't know who Al-Jahiz is. Now I do. I spent like an hour and a half in the airport Googling who Al-Jahiz is and his classic Arabian literature, okay? And it's definitely very interesting. You know, I love the aspects of historical culture that he put into this novel, and then how he expanded upon that vastly and created something extremely steampunk and futuristic and science fiction and fucking awesome and cool. And we have cool main characters that are queer and kiss women. I love that as a bisexual woman myself. So I really recommend this book. I don't hear enough people talking about it whatsoever, and that's a shame. That's a crime. Okay? More people should be talking about The Master of Jin. And this is only the first one, you know, first of many. This is going to be a series, and we only have this one so far, and it's this good. Boy, I'm sure we're going to be in for a ride. And Djeli, thank you. Thank you for providing us with this, because it's truly mastery. And I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you know that, you know that. It's masterful. And I'm sure everyone who's read it knows that. It's just fucking masterful, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. So, wrapping up this video, we talked about Joe Abercrombie and the First Law world, quite honestly. We talked about FRobert Jordan and the Wheel of Time. We talked about Brandon Sanderson and the most recent reads that I've had from him. Still have to read Arcanum Unbound. I know, I'll get there. We talked about Fonda Lee and her closing of Jade Legacy. I will get to I think it's The Settler of John Loon, which is her most recent novella. I'll get to that, I promise. I'll let you know when I do. And then we cover Djeli Clark and The Master of Jin. And that book, perfection. Best book so far of 2022. Please pick it up. Put your hands on it. Read it, feel it, listen to it. You know me, I'm an audiobook fiend. Audiobook, great, superb, okay? Highly, 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 highly recommend all of these, okay? But if you had to pick one, do pick A Master of Jin, because I feel like that's so fucking underrated. I want to see more people talking about it, getting on the bandwagon, getting on the hype train before it's too late, okay? Amazing, amazing work. So, that's it for me, really, for today's video. It was great seeing you this fine Friday morning, bright and shiny, 8 a.m. Yeah, if I do say so myself. Next week will be fun, because I'll have a video for you again, because I filmed this one, and breaking that barrier, ripping off that band-aid, is all you really need to do. If you're someone like me who is gone for like a couple months, just film that video, rip off that band-aid, get her done, okay? And you will be surprised how you feel. You'll feel liberated and invigorated and great. Anyways, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of any of the books I talked about. If you disagree with anything, let me know. If you want to add something down below, you know, about any of these books, let me know. You know, if you want to add to, you know, any of the series that I talked about, Wheel of Time, First Law, keep it spoiler free, because I've only read so far, okay? Please. And for everyone in the comments down below who has also only read so far. All right? Yeah, so that is that. My name is Caitlin. I hope you are having a wonderful day, year, month. It's 2022. It has been for a while. Happy June. Bye.